Channel 4's reporter sensed that something awful was about to happen that he did not want on camera.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 disturbing true crimes that people watched in real time.
Officials in Grand County say the man who was behind the wheel in a bulldozer rampage is dead.
Daniel V. Jones standoff.
There's an old chestnut in local television news: if it bleeds, it leads, which is a rather direct way of saying the public seems to have a never-ending appetite for crime and violence.
Los Angeles is famous for televised pursuits, but this 1998 incident changed live news forever. Daniel V. Jones, distraught over a recent HIV diagnosis and insurance disputes, led police to the busy interchange of the 110 and 105 freeways. With news choppers circling, Jones stopped his truck, unfurled a protest banner, and set the vehicle on fire.
Not that anyone guessed that Jones was minutes away from killing himself. The truth is, no one was sure what he was going to do next. The truth is, that's why this highway traffic story was such compelling television.
The broadcast reached a mid-afternoon audience, including children, who watched in abject terror when the standoff ended with Jones taking his own life. The brutal footage stunned the public and forced networks to immediately overhaul their protocols. This event is widely cited as the reason live news now utilizes a 7-second delay, allowing producers to cut the feed before anything too graphic hits the air. The Manila hostage crisis.
Police in the Philippines are defending the way they handled a hostage crisis in which 8 tourists were killed.
The world watched a hostage crisis tragically unfold in the Philippines. Rolando Mendoza, a disgruntled former officer armed with an M16, hijacked a tour bus in Manila, taking over 20 people hostage. Most of them were tourists from Hong Kong. He held police at bay for 10 hours, demanding reinstatement to the force.
A lone gunman held the Hong Kong tourists captive on a bus for 11 hours. By the time police moved in, he'd already begun shooting them.
But in a horrific twist, the bus had an onboard television which allowed Mendoza to watch the police preparing their rescue in real time. This led to a chaotic firefight involving sledgehammers and tear gas, and the tragedy resulted in the deaths of the gunman and 8 hostages. The event drew global condemnation, serving as a grim lesson on how media coverage can endanger lives during tactical operations.
And the way it is handled, particularly the way of the outcome, I find it is disappointing.
Raoul Moat.
In 2010, the largest manhunt in modern British history was launched when Raoul Moat declared war on Northumbria police.
In July 2010, the United Kingdom was gripped by one of the largest police operations in its history. After shooting his ex-girlfriend, killing her new partner, and blinding police officer David Rathband, fugitive Raoul Moat went on the run in the Northumberland countryside. The manhunt culminated in a tense 6-hour standoff on a riverbank in the village of Rothbury.
It's quite quaint, everybody knows everybody else. It's a really tight community. It's just a lovely, wonderful place, and it's just beautiful.
But Rothbury was about to become the focus of the world's attention.
With news helicopters circling and 24-hour channels broadcasting the siege to millions, negotiators frantically tried to talk Moat down. The surreal media spectacle, which even featured a bizarre attempted intervention by football legend Paul Gascoigne, ended in tragedy when Moat took his own life. The horrifying event sparked a nationwide debate about the ethics of rolling news coverage during active standoffs.
Just being glued to the television at night and waiting for things to happen.
The whole world seemed to be transfixed on what was happening in Rothbury.
The assassination of Andrey Karlov.
The latest we heard from the capital city Ankara is that the gunman has reportedly been shot in an operation that the police conducted.
In the age of high-definition news, this assassination was captured with jarring cinematic clarity. In December 2016, Russian Ambassador Andrey Karlov was delivering a speech at an art gallery in Ankara. Standing calmly behind him was Mevlut Mart Oltuntaş, an off-duty Turkish officer posing as a security guard.
He shot the ambassador a few times again. He has been taken to hospital reportedly, and he is heavily injured. There are 3 more people injured.
Suddenly, Oltuntaş drew his weapon and fired 9 shots, taking the ambassador down. Cameras rolled as the assassin paced around the body, pointing a finger in the air and shouting, "Don't forget Aleppo." The footage went viral within minutes, presenting the world with a terrifying real-time glimpse into modern geopolitical violence that looked disturbingly like a movie scene. North Hollywood shootout. It played out like an action movie, but it was a terrifying reality. In February 1997, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matasareanu robbed a Bank of America in North Hollywood. Wearing heavy, homemade body armor and wielding illegal automatic rifles, they were met by the LAPD, triggering one of history's most intense gun battles.
You really don't have time to think about things like family or whether or not you're going to live or die. At that point, you're just trying to get to some type of concealment so where you don't get shot.
News choppers broadcast the chase as the robbers' armor deflected standard police bullets. Desperate officers were forced to commandeer high-powered rifles from a nearby gun store just to match the robbers' firepower. The 44-minute shootout left both perpetrators dead and nearly 20 people wounded. It also fundamentally changed American law enforcement, leading to the rapid militarization of police departments to ensure officers were never outgunned again. The murders of Allison Parker and Adam Ward.
Our WDBJ7 morning crew was live this morning at Smith Mountain Lake when shots were fired around 6:45. And our general manager and WDBJ7 Vice President Jeff Marks is here to tell us more about what happened.
This tragedy highlighted the brutal intersection of live news and social media fame. On the morning of August 26, 2015, reporter Allison Parker and cameraman Adam Ward were conducting a lighthearted interview in Moneta, Virginia. Suddenly, viewers heard gunshots and screams as the camera tumbled to the ground, capturing a fleeting glimpse of the shooter.
It is my very, very sad duty to report that we have determined through the help of the police and our own employees that Allison and Adam died this morning shortly after 6:45 when the shots rang out.
The perpetrator, a disgruntled former co-worker named Vester Flanagan, fled the scene and later uploaded his own first-person GoPro footage of the attack to social media. The incident forced news crews everywhere to rethink security during live remote broadcasts, and it stands as a grim example of a crime designed specifically to go viral. And by doing so, we all gave the killer exactly what he wanted.
The day of the attack, you were standing with Allison in what was supposed to be her last live shot of the day. Did you see the attacker approaching, coming up to you in the cameraman's position?
I did. Of course, who would have ever guessed in a million years what was about to happen?
The Granby Killdozer rampage.
We're told he took about 10 or 15 minutes at this one building alone. It gives you an idea of just how much time he spent at some of these places. Damage, we're told, could be in the millions.
Sometimes the weapon isn't a gun, but a machine. In June 2004, muffler shop owner Marvin Heemeyer took revenge on Granby, Colorado, in a way the world had never seen. Furious over a zoning dispute, Heemeyer spent months modifying a Komatsu bulldozer with concrete and steel armor, essentially creating an unstoppable tank. For 2 hours, news helicopters broadcast live as he methodically crushed the town hall, the police station, and the homes of council members. Police fired hundreds of rounds and even used explosives, but nothing could penetrate the makeshift armor. The rampage finally ended when the machine became trapped in a basement where Heemeyer took his own life. It was a destructive spectacle that caused $7 million in damages and became an instant legend in true crime history.
As authorities try to get into the cab of his homemade tank, Marv Heemeyer takes his own life. It takes officers several hours and a cutting torch to finally get inside the cab.
The Munich Olympics massacre.
In 1972, at the Munich Olympic Games in Germany, Palestinian gunmen slaughter 11 Israeli hostages.
It was meant to be a celebration of peace, but it became the first time terrorism was broadcast live to a global audience. During the 1972 Munich Olympics, the group Black September infiltrated the Olympic Village, killing 2 Israeli athletes and taking 9 others hostage. For nearly 24 hours, the world watched anxiously as live cameras trained on masked terrorists patrolling the balconies.
I sat in front of the television. I had one television with the German program, one with the Dutch program, one radio next to me, and trying to figure out. And it was terrible because I had no clue what was going on.
The crisis ended in a disastrous, botched shootout at a nearby airfield, resulting in the deaths of all remaining hostages and a police officer. The broadcast is forever remembered for sportscaster Jim McKay's somber delivery of the bad news to a waiting world. The event was soon immortalized in pop culture, the image of a masked terrorist on the balcony becoming one of the most popular in true crime.
The defining moment is that image of the guy coming out with the black mask on his head, hanging out in that balcony, looking out That's the image which is sort of seared into people's memory.
The Bronco chase.
What you are looking now is a police chase of Simpson and his friend Al Cowling. The finish to this bizarre case began with that picture you're looking at now. Roughly 18 police cars picking up Simpson's trail as he and another man, Al Cowling, rode along a Los Angeles freeway in that white Ford Bronco that you see in the center of the screen.
While it wasn't a murder caught on tape, it was a run of the century that literally stopped the world. In June 1994, OJ Simpson, famously charged with a double homicide, failed to surrender to the police. What followed was a surreal, low-speed pursuit of his white Ford Bronco across Los Angeles freeways.
Well, Bill, as we've watched these events unfold tonight, there have been many comparisons that this is something like out of a Hollywood movie.
But this went far beyond a simple police chase and became a massive cultural phenomenon. 95 million Americans tuned in to watch the chase live, interrupting the NBA Finals and even driving record pizza sales. Crowds lined the overpasses to cheer him on as if it were a parade. The phenomenon solidified both the 24-hour sensationalist news cycle and reality TV culture, proving that sometimes the getaway is just as famous as the crime itself.
New Yorkers' appetite for sports is bigger than ever these days, but many who headed into the Garden for championship game number 5 found the day's biggest news real distasteful.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Jack Ruby shoots Lee Harvey Oswald.
He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
It's the moment that fueled a million conspiracy theories. 2 days after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the prime suspect, Lee Harvey Oswald, was being transferred from jail. As he was led through the basement of the Dallas Police Headquarters, live NBC cameras were rolling to capture the legendary perp walk. But suddenly, local nightclub owner Jack Ruby lunged from the crowd of reporters and shot Oswald point blank in the stomach.
It began with the fatal shooting of Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of John Kennedy, by Jack Ruby, a Dallas nightclub owner, in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters. Here's how it looked and sounded on live nationwide television.
Millions of Americans witnessed the murder of the man accused of killing the president in real time. It silenced the only person who could have provided answers, turning a national tragedy into an enduring mystery, and standing as the most infamous crime ever broadcast live.
Absolute panic here in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters. The detectives have their guns drawn. Oswald has been shot. There is no question about it. Oswald has been shot.
Did you happen to catch these? Let us know in the comments below.